Welcome to Gloriman spends 100 days solving the death of Sherlock Holmes. And as always, subscribe down below because we're trying to make it to 1 billion family members on YouTube. So click that subscribe button so you can become an OG before 1 billion. Like this video, share this on your socials, and comment down below what you thought of this chapter 1 of the story. And let's get into this. My name is Gloriman, a lanky 15-year-old with a mop of chestnut hair and a heart that thumbs for mysteries. I live in a sleepy coastal town called Greyhaven, where the fog clings to the cliffs like a jealous lover. One rainy afternoon, well, I've got to say, story begins. I stumbled upon a tattered book in my attic, The Complete Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The pages smelled of mildew and secrets, and a yellowed newspaper clipping slipped out. Headline: Sherlock Holmes found dead in London, 1893, cause unknown. My pulse raced. A mystery unsolved for over a century? This was my calling. The clipping was brittle. Its ink smudged like tears. It described Holmes' body found in a Baker Street flat. No signs of violence, no notes, no clues. Scotland Yard called it natural causes, but the article hinted at whispers of foul play. I clutched the paper, my imagination igniting. Sherlock Holmes, the greatest detective, dead without answers? Impossible! I vowed to solve it in 100 days, a number that felt grand, like a knight's quest. I pinned the article to my corkboard, its edges curling like a challenge. My bedroom became my 221B Baker Street. I strongly read yarn across maps of Victorian London, pinned photos of Holmes' fictional allies, Watson, Lestrade, Mrs. Hudson, and suspects like Moriarty. The rain patted my window, a Morse code of urgency. I devoured Conan Doyle's stories, noting Holmes' habits, his violin, his cocaine, his razor-sharp mind. If he died mysteriously, it wasn't by chance. Someone or something outwitted him. I shivered, not from the cold, but from the thrill. Day 1 began with a trip to Greyhaven's library, a creaky building with gargoyles leering from the eaves. Mrs. Pym, the librarian, raised a weary eyebrow as I requested every book on Holmes, Victorian crime, and obscure poisons. Her glasses glinted like she knew my secret. I hauled home a stack of tomes, the leather bindings cracking like old bones. I read late, my desk lamp casting shadows that danced like phantoms. Holmes' death felt closer, yet maddeningly out of reach. On day 2, I scoured the internet for theories. Forums buzzed with wild ideas: Moriarty's revenge, the government cover-up, even a cursed violin. One post by a user named Deduction Devotee claimed Holmes faked his death after Reichenbach Falls, but was later poisoned by a secret society. No proof, just speculation. I bookmarked it, my fingers trembling. The idea of a hidden cable thrilled me, but I needed facts. I jotted in my notebook: check secret societies, 1890s London. Day 3 brought a breakthrough. I found an online archive of Victorian newspapers, digitized by Oxford. A tiny article from 1893 mentioned a consulting detective found dead, with a cryptic detail, a single raven feather on his desk. My heart lurched. Ravens weren't random. They symbolized death, mystery. Was it a message? A signature? I sketched a feather in my notebook, its claw sharp as a dagger. The mystery deepened, and I felt Holmes' ghost urging me on. By day 4, I was obsessed with ravens. I researched the symbolism, omens, messengers of the gods. In Victorian London, they roamed the Tower of London, guardians of the crown. Could Holmes' killer have been linked to royalty? I imagined a shadowy figure slipping into 221B, leaving the feather as taunt. My room smelled of ink and coffee as I scribbled theories. I needed to understand Holmes' final case. What was he investigating when he died? Day 5, I hit a wall. No records of Holmes' last case existed. Conan Doyle's stories ended with the final problem, where Holmes supposedly died at Reichenbach, but the clipping said 1893, 2 years later. Was Holmes active in secret? I paced my room, the floorboards groaning. Then it hit me: Watson. If anyone knew Holmes' final days, it was Dr. John Watson. I needed his perspective, even if fictional. I delved back into the stories. On day 6, I reread Watson's account, savoring his warm, royal voice. He described Holmes as brilliant but reckless, prone to dark moods and risky habits. Could Holmes' death be self-inflicted? I shuddered at the thought. Watson's final published story, The Adventure of the Empty House, mentioned Holmes' return in 1894 after his supposed death. Wait. But my clipping predated that. Was Watson hiding something? I wrote, investigate Watson's reliability. Day 7, I dreamed of Holmes. He stood in a foggy alley, his deerstalker tilted, eyes piercing. The game is afoot, Gloriman, he whispered, then dissolved into ravens. I woke sweating. The image burned into my mind. I sketched it. The bird's wings blurring like smoke. The dream felt like a clue. But what? I decided to focus on the raven feather's origin. I emailed a London historian, Dr. Eliza Thorne, asking about Victorian raven symbolism. Day 8, Dr. Thorne replied. Her email was crisp, scholarly. She confirmed ravens were tied to the Tower of London and mentioned a rumored secret society, the Order of the Black Feather, active in the 1890s. My skin prickled. A secret society? She had no proof of their crimes, but whispered tales linked to them to high-profile deaths. I googled the order, finding nothing but conspiracy sites. Still, the name sang in my blood. On day 9, I mapped Holmes' known enemies. Moriarty topped the list, the Napoleon of crime. But he died at Reichenbach, didn't he? I wasn't sure. Other foes, Colonel Moran, Aaron Adler, seemed unlikely. Moran was a sniper, not a poisoner. Adler was cunning, but not murderous. The Order of the Black Feather felt more plausible. I imagined them as cloaked figures, plotting in candlelit cellars. My notebook filled with arrows and question marks. Day 10, I visited Greyhaven's antique shop, hoping for Victorian's relics. The owner, Mr. Core, a stooped man with ink-stained fingers, showed me an 1890s newspaper. It mentioned a black feather incident at the tower, where a guard was found dead with a raven feather in his hand. My breath caught. Was this connected? Core's eyes twinkled, like he knew more, but wouldn't say. I bought the paper, its edges crumbling. By day 11, I was drowning in clues, but starved for answers. The raven feather, the order, the tower. It all swirled like fog. I needed to ground myself. I reread Holmes' methods. Observe, deduce, eliminate the impossible. I listed facts. Holmes died in 1893. No visible cause. Raven feather present. Theories? Poison? Secret society? Revenge? I crossed out suicide. Holmes was too stubborn to quit. My resolve hardened. Day 12. I focused on poison. Victorian toxins were subtle. Arsenic, strychnine, cyanide. I read about belladonna, a plant whose berries could stop a heart without a trace. Could the Order have used it? I imagine a villain slipping it into Holmes' tea, his violin silent forever. My stomach churnched. I checked this clipping again, no mention of food or drink. I needed more in Holmes' final hours. On day 13, I emailed Dr. Thorne again, asking about Victorian poisons and the Order. She replied cautiously, suggesting I check the British Library's archive for 1819's coroner report. I groaned. London was a world away. Instead, I searched online databases, finding a coroner's notes on an unnamed consulting detective. Cause of death? Inconclusive. I scribbled margin red, feather noted, significance unclear. I whooped, startling my cat. Day 14, I theorized about the feather's placement. On Holmes' desk, not his body, a deliberate act like a calling card. I pictured the killer arranging it with gloved hands, smirking at their triumph. But why a raven feather? Was it a warning to others? I researched the tower's ravens again, learning their wings were clipped to keep them from flying away, a metaphor for Holmes, trapped by his own brilliance. Oh no. By day 15, I was exhausted but exhilarated. I taped the raven feather sketch above my desk, its image fueling me. I decided to recreate Holmes' final day. Using the stories, I imagined his routine. Coffee at dawn, violin practice, client meetings. But in 1893, post-Reichenbach, he was in hiding. Was he alone? I wrote, who visited Holmes at Baker Street? The question gnawed at me. Day 16, I considered Watson's role again. If Holmes was in hiding, Watson might have known. But Watson's story never mentioned 1893. Was he protecting Holmes' secret? or his own. Imagine Watson, loyal but conflicted, hiding a terrible truth. My pen scratched furiously. Could Watson be involved? The idea felt like betrayal, but I couldn't ignore it. I needed his unpublished papers, if they existed. On day 17, I searched for Watson's descendants. A genealogy site led me to Dr. Henry Watson, a retired doctor in Bristol. I emailed him asking if his family held any Holmes relics. My hand shook as I hit send. Meanwhile, I read about Victorian secret societies. The Order of the Black Feather. A typo in one source was described as fanatics obsessed with controlling London's underbelly. My mind buzzed. Day 18, Henry Watson replied. His email was warm, curious. His great-grandfather John Watson left a locked diary, unreadable due to water damage, but Henry recalled the family tale. John once mentioned a Sherlock's last feather. My jaw dropped. Was it the raven feather? Henry promised to search for more. I paced, imagining Watson's diary, his pen hesitating over a confession. The mystery felt tantalizingly close. By day 19, I was a detective obsessed, my mind a labyrinth of clues. I sketched the Order of the Black Feather's imagined symbol, raven's wings encircling a blood-red eye, its image both sinister and hypnotic. I needed to know their reach. I googled historical crimes in 1893 London, finding a string of unsolved deaths, a banker, a judge, a chemist, each with a feather. I gasped, my theory growing close. Day 20, I dove deeper into the chemist case. His name was Dr. Percival Wren, found dead in his shop, a raven feather on his ledger. The police dismissed it as a coincidence, but I didn't. Wren specialized in rare toxins, including belladonna. Was he the Order's poison maker? I imagined him brewing a vial for Holmes, his hands steady, his conscience screaming. My notebook overflowed, ink smearing like blood. Well, that's the end of chapter 1. If you want chapter 2, make sure the chapter 1, chapter 1 hits 100k likes on 100k likes. Then after that, as a fan, we'll do a vote. You will do a vote on it, and we'll see how many people say yes and how many people say no. If people say no, you will not get a chapter 2 of Gloriman spends 100 days solving the Sherlock Holmes case. But if you do reply yes majority, then I'll do a chapter 2. And yeah, so that's about it. This story has 3 chapters, so it's up to you whether you would like to see the other 2 chapters coming up. Anyway, thanks for watching, fam. I appreciate all of you for watching. Family power. Anyway, like this video, share this on all your socials. Comment down below what you think of this story, as well as what you think of the story. As well, subscribe down below. Trying to make to 1 billion family members on YouTube. And yeah, I appreciate all of you for watching and listening. And yeah, also if you'd like to make up your own lore about what Gloriman does next, be my guest. Yeah, ciao. Just watch the rest of the Mycroft ASMR now. End of story.